when Welcome to my channel. Welcome. Welcome. My name is Bosch. I am 21 years old and I just recently graduated college. I got my degree in Human Development and Family Studies. When I was in high school, I was very lost and had very little sense of direction, and so I started learning about human services through my school counselor and mentor, and went to community college in pursuit of human services. 2 years ago, I transferred from my community college to university to finish out my degree. In my final senior semester, I found an internship with a nonprofit that, to quote, changes lives in the name of Christ by meeting people at their physical and spiritual points of need with the goal of returning them to society as productive and sufficient citizens. That last part was hard to get out. I was stationed at a farm with 60 to 70 male participants there, all seeking sobriety. While I was interning there, I shadowed staff, I taught classes, and worked with participants to get to know who they were as people. When my graduation was around the corner, my supervisor wanted to keep me around, and they opened a position for me to work at the nonprofit. Me enjoying everything there and being a position right after graduation in human services, I was all for it, no matter what it was and no matter what cost. I went through the training and hiring, and after a couple of weeks I was finally in my position, and when everything was said and done, I was in it. I finally got to understand. When everything was said and done, what the position actually was hit me. The position was from 11 to 8. That's 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. The night shift. Other people would know it as. It took not even a week for me to know that this position was not for me for many reasons. Reasons I did this was, I was in a situation where I had to stick to something or not. I had to choose. Reasons I made this decision was I was in a position where I had to choose a path. It was either stay in my college town and either stick with this job I really didn't like, and I'll get into reasons about that here soon, or try to find work down there, or to not sign myself away into a lease and move back home with my parents and work on something else. I got my degree because I wanted to help people. With the shift hours I was given, the most human service thing I could do was to let people sleep. And so in the end, I was basically a glorified security guard at the property. Not to mention that my mental health was getting wrecked by not sleeping well and having to stay up over the night and sleep during the day, which really messed with me mentally. Over time, my sleep schedule got wrecked. I started to see harmful signs in myself, like negative self-talk, which is very new to me. I have other negative coping mechanisms, but that was a new coping mechanism in the moment. And as soon as I turned my sleep around, that vanished. And to contrast it, when I was an intern, I met with participants and staff during the day and got to socialize with them normally, and that was a huge bummer to me to not be able to do that again. So at the end of my last shift, after crying many times in the morning and at the night before, I decided to quit in the moment. I am making this video not for really anybody. I won't even necessarily say it's for myself. I think this movement we're seeing of people documenting their life through photos and videos and audio and music and documenting it and putting it together to something a little bit more artistic is very interesting and cool to me. I've personally wanted to document more for a couple of years now, but just haven't felt the time, maybe, or just making excuses along the way, and this is kind of my first entry into the space. I am an avid YouTube watcher, and I would like to consume less and produce more if I can. I'm not really a creative person. In middle school and high school, I was in band for 8 years, and so I have a musical background, but other than that, I'm not very artistic, and I'm usually creative within ideas, which is something you can't really tangibly touch, so it feels weird to call myself a creative person, but I'd like to think of myself as somebody of that characteristic. In any case, this video, and hopefully videos coming after it, are to document my life and what I'm going through. I hate to call it a documentary, I hate to call it a video diary. I'm just going to call these videos right now because I don't feel special enough to call them full-scale documentaries or even micro-documentaries. Like I said, I'm not doing this for really anybody. I do want to document my life. That's more because I want to preserve what I'm experiencing right now in the best way I know how, in video, in photo form. And I think my one audience I'm actually keeping in mind is I want to make this for my children whenever they come later down the road. Like I said earlier, I'm just 21 years old, and so that's a far off prospect, but it's been years going back now that I've had what am I going to do in life under the idea of when I have children, what will that look like? And so I personally wish I had photos and videos of what life was like for my parents and my grandparents when they were growing up and trying to make it in the world and trying to figure out who they were in the world. And so hopefully I can capture that in this. We'll see how it goes. And like I said, those little Bosches are far down the road. I'm not planning to have kids anytime soon, but I am planning sometime in the future. And because that's so far down the road, I can just create them more content. That was cringe. I am a gamer, hiker, camper, backpacker, journaler, kettlebell and barbell enthusiast. I love music, and I am shit at woodworking, but I am trying to get better at all of those things. To wrap this up, I hope this serves as a good intro for me. I'm not used to being on camera and not used to film editing, and so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully I can put something together that's coherent and everything, but we'll see. And I hope this serves as a good intro. I hope to document more, and thank you for those who stuck around throughout this video. It was probably hard hearing me talk.